and we had a vision to provide a new locking solution for laptops, bags, and devices that were left unattended.
And I want a good show, damn it. Ready for a good show?
Doing awesome, yeah. I'm excited to talk to you, Angie. Thank you for having me.
Yes!
I've always been big into archery, and my dad said, hey, you guys want to start an archery store?
That's how I always do.
Andrew, yes, of course, let's do this together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. I'm your host, Andrew Maff, and today I am joined with Ryan Angott, who is the president of TechLok Solutions. Ryan, how you doing? You ready for a good show?
Hi, good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being on the show. I always like to start these off in a very kind of stereotypical manner and just let you, we'll pretend no one knows who you are. No one did any research and they're just tuning in and that's it. So tell us a little bit about, your background, where you've been, and then obviously we'll get into TechLok.
Well, most people really don't know who I am, so that's very authentic. So no problem there, Andrew. Yeah, so I'm the son of a serial entrepreneur. My dad has 44 patents, and we started off on our journey I have one, he has 44, so I have a little ways to catch up on dad. But we joined our journey together as partners, starting TechLok really right before COVID, about 5 years ago. And we had a vision to provide a new locking solution for laptops, bags, and devices that were left unattended. I've discovered the problem. My background's been in cybersecurity for about the last decade. And one day I got a memo from my company that said, if your laptop is stolen and you're held negligible, it's a fireable offense. And bing, that's when the light bulb went off 5 years ago. And here we are finally launching our company TechLok with our flagship product LapLok as the world's first retrofitting physical laptop and bag device catered to the work from anywhere world. So a little bit about my background.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting. My wife works at a very large health tech company, and they have the same rule. And so, like, even if we go on vacation, like, she's got it in her bag because she's worried, like, someone's going to steal it in the hotel or something, and she's going to get in trouble for it. So tell me a little bit about the product. Like, how's the product itself actually work?
Sure. Yeah. So it's good. She's a security steward. There's 1,600 laptops stolen every day in the U.S., and it causes a whole ripple effect of crime, identity theft, et cetera. So we're out trying to solve a pretty big problem. Traditionally, if you want to secure a laptop, there's been a little lock slot on the side of a laptop called a K-slot. Mm-hmm. And that would be almost like a bike lock cable locking that device down. Well, that got eliminated on 3/4 of the laptops in the world. The last 5 years, the OEMs just took away the lock slot. So our product actually retrofits to any laptop or tablet. And it can be used in other applications. I've used LapLok for ski bags, speakers, other things, but laptops are our primary use case. So to show you, Andrew, on the bottom of your device, there's a one-time semi-permanent mounted arm that's, super thin, doesn't impede the user experience. And when you want to use your device, that stays on the bottom of your laptop. And when you want to use your LapLok, that arm swings out like so. And then the product actually clamps to the table with the arm. So you can still use your laptop and, use it with free motion, but you're locked to the table, and you can also lock your bag, purse, whatever. So you can really get kind of a 2-for-1 when using LapLok. You clamp it down, you cinch it to the table, hit your code 212, whatever it is, and you're locked in, really can't remove it. If someone even tries tampering with it, there's an 80 decibel alarm that goes off. So it's a pretty slick little gadget.
Jeez. Is this one of your Is this your single patent, or is this your father's?
Yeah, it was my idea. We're co-inventors on the product. He's really the brains on the patent side. But together we've invested 300 grand into our business. We've raised $1.7 million. It's been a hell of a 5-year journey. We just launched at CES, and we're really starting to take traction. We've put up some big logos with Best Buy Canada and Sharper Image and Staples. So, for just coming out a few months ago, we're really getting a lot of good traction.
Wow. And where are you, obviously outside of the places you just referenced, where are you selling? I know obviously you have your own website and stuff, but anything, are you exploring marketplaces and things like that? What's the go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, we've inked a couple deals with some conglomerate websites that resell all over the world. It's a worldwide product. But yeah, we're open to, any e-commerce channel that makes good business sense for us, that is willing to sign our MAP policy. Sometimes that's a hiccup for e-com resellers, but it's Amazon. We've got a storefront. We've got our own website. And we've identified actually about 10 channels total that we're selling to. We just had a B2B show last week where you could brand, our tech products. We've got about 12 products, with LapLock being kind of our hero $1 million idea differentiator, that you can brand them, Nike, Coke, whatever, Ford. And we got over $100,000 of inquiries just from that show. So a lot on the B2B, a lot online, and also the college market is a really big one for us too.
Oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So inventing a new product like this, right? Like it's wildly differentiated. You don't have really anything out there that's even kind of close to this.
Mm-mm.
What's your approach on how you plan to continue to market this and really get it out there? Because there's no search volume for something that no one knows exists. However, you're solving a problem that some people don't even know there's a solution for. So what's the plan there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before I was in cyber doing major account sales, I actually was a corporate marketing director for a food service company for about 10 years. And we did 100 million. So now I'm a dinosaur. That was 12 years ago. So a lot of marketing has changed, but I know the fundamentals, and it's tough as a new brand, new product that people don't know exists. Very tough, expensive. We hired a really great agency in first quarter that's just putting our foot in the water on how to, they run our Meta, Google, etc. There is a fair amount of people, maybe I would say a couple thousand a week that are Google searching laptop security lock or physical laptop security. Mm-hmm. That is a fairly popular key search term that we are playing in. We're getting some sales from. But, if you look online, there might be 50 competitors with all that old cable style lock that sell for $30 to $50, 20 to 50. We are so different and such a high, we're $100, but it's like apples and oranges, and we can retrofit anything. So there is some searching going on. Obviously, we're playing in that space. We will be playing in the space with Amazon when our new Gen 2 comes in next month, but we already have our store with our other SKUs up and running. So we are doing some paid search with Amazon. And, we're just figuring out as we go. My lesson learned, and for anybody else that's an entrepreneur or starting a new product, we launched our brand about 2 months ago online, and we had a pretty painful learning lesson. We hired this great new agency. We spent money on this beautiful new website that's really that aesthetically looks great, and we spent 15 to 20 grand in ad dollars, and we got very little sales, maybe 5-6 grand. And but it was our first month, brand new brand, new product. No one knows us. We had no reviews. We had no our kind of Shopify user experience was very poor. And, being the owner, I thought new website, great new ads that are going all over, that's targeted. I trust our agency. We're playing in the right sandboxes, but our conversion sucks. So what's up? And, we had a hard look and go, no one's going to buy a new product without any reviews, number one. So let's manufacture and get some reviews. Let's ask friends, family, our network, provide a special discount code to get reviews. Now we have about 100 reviews in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was mistake number one. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. And then number two was our Shopify experience was really poor. Even though the site looked good, our site speed was bad. we hired a Shopify consultant, an excellent woman out of the Philippines for a very low amount, who all she does is optimize your Shopify website, from a conversion standpoint. And man, what a difference that's made. So, we did a new checkout cart. We bought a new review widget. We moved things around. We changed this, that, new buttons. And, I had no idea that detail really can make or break the whole metrics on how to online market and sell. And that's the pain point. That's what we've learned the first quarter, second quarter. We've changing a tune, and hopefully we'll have much better results on our ROAS.
Yeah. And you're lucky you've learned kind of early. Like the CRO side of things is a constant thorn in my side of trying to work with brands and explain to them, like, you're going to spend an arm and a leg on Google and Meta and TikTok and SEO and retention and all these different things, driving traffic back to a website that doesn't convert as well as it should. And so it never ceases to amaze me the lack of brands that are, consistently A/B testing and tweaking things and monitoring their site with like heat maps and scroll tracking and all that kind of stuff. Like we just did an audit. We didn't do any A/B testing. We did an audit for this brand, found a bunch of stuff, and we're like, we think you should go ahead and just implement this stuff. And within like 2 weeks, like their conversion rate almost tripled. And it's amazing that, like, some of these Shopify themes, they come preloaded in a certain way, but they're really meant to be manipulated more based on the product line. And then you got to think about your audience. Like, the theme was built in a certain direction based on what that person thinks mass market would like. However, your brand, your product line, the way you do business can be very different. So it's even though it sucks that you spent $20K like right out the gate and really didn't get much for it, it's good that you found the holes and, you fix it. And that's part of what just launching the business is.
Yeah.
The reviews side is interesting. That's a very common issue when you're first starting stuff off. Have you thought about going the influencer route and letting people start to kind of spread the message for you?
Yeah, I definitely believe that an affiliate and influencer program is on a roadmap of something we want to launch in Q3. Truthfully, we're a small 12-man team. I'm doing the sales and marketing, and I'm actually in the process right now. Before we had our call, I'm reviewing a senior marketing manager that would help, because you can run a great influencer program, and I think it can boost a lot of reviews, credibility, and UGC, and it's something I think we need. But I think you got to manage it the right way. You got to give people the right time, the right boundaries, the right parameters. But I have heavily looked into influencer programs. We just have not turned the key in running it yet for our business.
Yeah. That tends to be when you're limited on reviews. Although it sounds like you've got them now, sometimes that helps, because then it comes off. A lot of brands, they'll launch ads and it's like, buy this, it's awesome, we're great, do this, do that, and it comes off like, yeah, but you're obviously biased. So even though influencers, there's an argument to say that they're falling off too, but I digress.
Do you believe in the influencer model? Do you think influencers still has the whole? And I have heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
What's your take on that as part of an e-com strategy?
I definitely still believe in it. However, I think that the initially working with influencers and paying them like an arm and a leg to post stuff is not justifiable for really any brand doing under like 30-40 million a year. Like, too many of these influencers, they get a couple posts do really well, all of a sudden they're charging you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars for a handful of posts, and it's just obscene. When in reality, if you do seeding, you run a significantly lower risk. You can get more people to start posting about it. You can get review and more UGC out of a bunch of different people. So like, I find seeding works a lot better than if you give them the opportunity to have an affiliate link. And if things start to do well, then you start to pay them. So building that relationship from the beginning, as opposed to just going to the big guy like right away, because sometimes like brand awareness is great, but unless you're up to a point where like, okay, now we just need more and more top of funnel traffic, then it makes sense. But in the beginning, it's not logical. It's so expensive, and the influencer's job is to get you eyeballs, not to get you sales. They have no control over once someone gets to your website, whether they actually purchase or not. Their goal is to get you eyeballs and hopefully get you clicks to your site. But that's why most influencers don't really lean into the affiliate side, because they don't want to be held responsible for the way that your site converts and what
Yeah.
happens once they actually get there. So, it always kind of depends. I love it for a product launch strategy. Like, we'll usually send out product to a bunch of influencers that either we've already worked with or ones that we can tell will do well. We'll just do seeding. We'll have them hold on to the product, make some content, etc. And then when we're ready to do like an announcement, we have them all post like that same month. And so it kind of gives like this feeling of like, wow, this new thing is like everywhere. And so all of a sudden it kind of develops that snowball effect. And then that's how you kind of decide if you continue to work with influencers or not.
Yeah. We'll get there one day. We're not quite there yet in our marketing roadmap, but one day.
There's so many different channels and approaches that you can do. It's all about just testing it and then pivoting as soon as you realize that it's working or not working. But the influencer side can be daunting sometimes. Plus, dealing with influencers is a job in itself.
Right.
But so let's go back to the invention side, because it's not incredibly common that you have someone that invented something, took it all the way to manufacturing, went through the tooling process, actually brought it to market. Like, that whole beginning process is a chore. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, where'd you start off with like prototypes? How'd you figure out like manufacturing? Like, what was the beginning steps there?
Yeah, chore is an understatement. It's more like hell. I mean, truthfully, hell. I've never been through, and now keep in mind, I've got a all-star in my corner. My dad, he's a 50-year entrepreneur. He's patented and sold $100 million of products that he's invented. So we've had a pretty good guideline. What was unique, Andrew, about our engagement and coming up with an idea is that it was right before COVID, and COVID killed us. So, you guys probably remember the supply chain crisis, and we couldn't go overseas and yada, yada, yada. Well, when you have an idea, you start small and you tinker. Is this feasible? Can we get patents on it? Let's sketch it up. What's it going to cost? A lot of people have ideas. Very few people take action on them, and even fewer people make money on them. I think the statistics are 5% of inventors actually bring out a product to market and make money. And, hopefully we're in that 5%. It looks really good right now, but, you gotta, my big thing is try to keep things simple. The Croc shoe, great example. New shoe, sold billions, a ton. It's a piece of rubber that's a little of a different form factor that everyone has. Ugly as hell, but everyone has a Croc. Well, that's relatively straightforward and simple. That's a design rubber. I'm not taking anything away from them. But, if you're starting with an idea, you're not going to be Elon and build a rocket. And our product was very challenging because we have mechanics, electronics, and software. And so you got to really think what is within your wheelhouse that you can produce. Fortunately, I've been able to stomach and raise a couple $1 million, and I have a great team of board members and a lot of guidance and firepower. And I'm a pretty savvy business guy that I could pull it off. But, when you're coming up with something new, you got to be practical in what you can achieve as an inventor or entrepreneur. So you start with an idea, you start doing market research. Can we get a cost down reasonable? Will people like this? Is there a problem that we're solving? Yes, laptops are stolen all over. Yes, it's a huge, billions of dollars of loss. And now we're in a remote world where people shouldn't leave their devices out, but they do because they want to run to the bathroom or get a coffee or take a call. And that's the problem that we solved. So you got to start with a problem, feasibility, practicality, do your market research, and then take a real world approach. And I would strongly suggest talking to another entrepreneur or inventor that's walked in their shoes. hey, what is it going to look like to actually execute and pull this off? I mean, I thought this would take half as much time and cost a fraction of the amount. It is what it is. I will say for us, we were a bit unique where COVID set us back 2 years and it cost us $1 million because we had the idea. We made one locally. I'm in the Detroit area. We proved the concept. We did marketing research. We got the patent or patent pending, filed the patent, which is low cost. And then we go, okay, now we built one. Let's copy it overseas. We tried in the U.S., but the cost for a consumer electronic is not feasible here. So we went overseas. Boom, COVID hit, and basically everything shut down. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. We ended up hiring a consulting agency to match make us with the right factory. Spent 50 grand with them. We shopped 44 factories around the world. We chose the wrong factory. We physically could not go there as a company because of COVID, which my dad would go camp out for 2-3 weeks and make sure, can these guys pull this off? And that didn't happen, and we chose the wrong factory. And boy, what a mistake that was. We finally fired them a year ago. We now have new product coming in with our new factory, and it's truly been hell building a new consumer electronic product through COVID.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the timing of that was so interesting for so many different reasons. So many people, like I love pointing at like Peloton of like, oh, they thought this was the best thing to ever happen to them, so they bought up a company that did the manufacturing for them, and they had a ton of inventory, and now they are not doing very well. So like you get like all the people that did great during that time, then you get the opposite of like your scenario where like you didn't do that great during that time, but it actually has put you in a better position now because you've learned a lot of stuff faster than most people would. So it was a very interesting, just from an e-commerce perspective, it was a very interesting time. Mm-hmm. One of the things you had mentioned just triggered a thought. Have you thought about developing like a sales department and going B2B? Because this is, I mean, for like I mentioned, like my wife's company, these big health tech companies, like I would assume that they would just want to like put that onto every employee's laptop and send it out. Because while, like to your point, while it's a fireable offense, I'm sure they'd prefer that it didn't happen at all.
Of course, and employees don't want to fire good people. Yeah. That's the last thing they want to do. But if that's policy, and what's happened is there's just a huge compliance crackdown. Laws, regulations are all getting stricter on corporate data security, private data health, except, I mean, that was my background in cyber. And that was kind of like, we've got a problem here it's getting worse, not better. Petty crime. And now we're in a hybrid working world. So COVID sucked, but it kind of built like, okay, we now have a real hybrid work from anywhere lifestyle. And that's really how we built the brand, is this work from anywhere world. So yeah, the B2B, I mean, you go in phases as a startup. Q1, we launched at CES in Las Vegas, Consumer Electronics Show. That's how we got the Best Buys and Targets and, Sharper Image. Some of those deals came out of that, where you got corporate buyers going there on a retail resell level, which obviously we're doing also on our own. In phase 2, which we're now getting into, is B2B. So it's like, and a lot of those come out of shows. So we are now, I'm hiring a super guru sales consultant to stand up our B2B side of the house in the promo branded industry, where people can brand their lap locks or our other devices. We do these, we just did a show last week. We had phenomenal response where in companies like your wife's or insurance companies, higher compliance industries that really give a damn about security are our sweet spot. It's not for ABC Construction or Joe's Plumbing. It's companies like your wife's, Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance, or General Motors, bigger companies that the more they're sensitive on their corporate data. So yeah, we are absolutely going into that market, and we're putting up some logos and getting a lot of traction.
Awesome. Yeah. It's got to be a fun ride. It's very interesting, man. You've learned some early lessons that I wish I had learned that early on. It's a very cool concept that's coming in. And obviously, don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're slammed. So Ryan, appreciate you having me on the show. I would love to give the opportunity, let everyone know where they can find out more about you and, of course, more about TechLok.
Sure. Yeah. Techlok.com, and it's spelled TECHLOK.com. Check us out. You can also find us on Amazon, on our store, TechLok. And, like our socials, buy something, check us out, and give us a great review.
Beautiful. Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone who tuned in, of course, thank you as well. Please make sure you do the usual: rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff on whichever podcast platform you prefer, or head over to ecommshow.com to check out all of our previous episodes. But as usual, thank you all for being here. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the E-Comm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The E-Comm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the E-Comm Show.